everyone, it's me, Gemma, and if you were watching last week, you'll know that I gave you my recipe for delicious salted caramel, which is really tasty on its own or on ice cream or on pudding, but one of the best things you could possibly do with it is make salted caramel chocolate mudslide cupcakes. Let's get started! Right, so I've got my salted caramel, the golden ingredient, the most important ingredient in salted caramel chocolate mudslide cupcakes. But there's one thing missing so far, and that is chocolate cupcakes, so I'm gonna make those right now. The first thing I need to do is mix all my dry ingredients together. So I've got a bowl with a sieve over it, and I'm just gonna throw it all in. So 350 grams of plain flour, and then 60 grams of cocoa powder, 370 grams of caster sugar, a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and a good old pinch of salt. And then I've got 150 grams of chopped up chocolate. I'm using milk chocolate today. You can use plain or whatever you like, but I'm using milk. And just with a whisk, just whisk that all together to make sure it's all nicely combined. Right, so that's all my dry ingredients ready. Just pop that to one side, and now I'm gonna mix my wet ingredients together. It's a bit like making a muffin, but it's cupcakes. So I've got 240 millilitres of cold coffee. I brewed this morning, but you can use instant if you haven't got brewed coffee. If you're using instant, just use a tablespoon of instant coffee to every 240 millilitres of hot water, but just cool it down first. Otherwise it cooks your eggs. And then I've got 240 millilitres or 240 grams of buttermilk, if it's easier for you to measure it that way. And then 210 millilitres of vegetable oil. And then 3 large free-range eggs, just crack them in there. And then using a whisk, just whisk that all together. And then I just need to put my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients and whisk it all together until that's really well combined as well. Okay, that's ready. The next bit is gonna get messy. So I'm gonna put my mixture into a jug so that I can control it a little bit better. Okay, so once all your mixture's in the jug, it's time to get pouring, and just pour straight into your cupcake cases in your tin and fill them up 3/4 of the way full, and this mixture will make enough for 24 cupcakes. So these just need to get baked at 150 degrees C for 22 to 24 minutes. Bye. Okay, while your cakes are baking in the oven, it's time to get that delicious salted caramel out, and we're gonna make salted caramel frosting. So the first thing you're gonna need is 300 grams of soft unsalted butter. Just beat that for about 5 minutes until it's really pale and fluffy. Right, my butter's all nice and fluffy, so now it's time to put icing sugar in, and I've got 540 grams of sifted icing sugar, and I'm gonna put it in 2 stages. So start on a slow speed and then increase it to a medium to high speed. Really get things going in there. Right, that's all lovely and fluffy, and now I just need to add my salted caramel. So I've got 1 batch of salted caramel as per the recipe from last week, which makes about 300 millilitres of caramel. So I'm gonna put half of that in, so about 150 ml. And then mix that on a medium speed for another couple of minutes. that looks perfect and it smells amazing. And it's got a really nice pale caramel colour and the consistency is just right. It's kind of fluffy but spreadable. I can't wait to use this. But for now, I'm just going to see if my cakes are ready. My cakes have cooled down and now it's going to get super exciting. So I've got a chopstick here. It's a very important tool to have in your kitchen, mainly because I'm going to use this to poke holes in my cupcakes with. So using the fat end of your chopstick, go right in the middle of your cupcake and poke a little hole in. Give it a little wiggle, make it a nice big hole. And then the rest of that lovely salted caramel icing is not going to waste, do not worry. I'm going to pop it into a little piping bag, like this. So just turn the edges over so you don't make it all messy. And pour the rest of your caramel in there. Turn those edges back up again. Give it a little twist so it doesn't all leak out. So once that's ready, you just need to snip a hole in the end. Just a small hole, nothing too big, otherwise it's going to gush out. And now it's time to fill some cupcakes. All right, so they're all filled, gone all heavy, which is great. And now I just need to top them with that yummy salted caramel frosting. So I've got my trusty spoonula and my bowl of icing, and I'm just gonna do that by hand. You can use a piping bag if you prefer, but I'm feeling handy today. So get a blob of icing and bounce it all around till it's completely covered. Right, so you could leave them like that, all plain, or you could drizzle some more of that yummy salted caramel over the top, but I am gonna do something a bit sneaky and yummy. I froze some Snickers earlier, as you do, and I am just gonna chop those up so that they're all in shards and sprinkle that on the top of my cupcakes. Naughty. Look at that. Look at all that lovely caramel inside. It smells amazing and it's so moist, this cake. Oh, this is basically my favourite cake ever. So I'm just gonna have to have a little bite of it. Hang on. You know what? Despite the fact that that's got loads of sugar and caramel in it, that's not too sweet at all. It's just right. I love salted caramel, it's so tasty. That was salted caramel chocolate mudslide cupcakes. God, that's a mouthful, but that's great because I have a big mouth. So I'm gonna put loads of these in it. And if you like that video and you want to see more videos by me, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the link up there. And I will see you guys next week for another of my favourite recipes. See you then.